Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and the unthinkable has happened once again in this card game, and Bandai has added a couple new cards to the restricted card list, and they're honestly game-changing, game-breaking, mind-blowing, and I'm super excited to talk about this. And I also ended up making a tier list predicting where the meta is gonna fall, because guys, it's gonna change a lot, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So anyways, yeah, let's dive in. Alright, so before we start with the tier list, I just want to show you guys the 3 cards that are currently restricted to 1 now, and that's going to be my boy Newgate, and this is effective of July 28th, so by next week, or depends on when you're watching this, extremely soon, or it already did get nerfed, set to 1, but Newgate got set to 1, my boy Marco, the 4-5k blocker, got set to 1. This is extremely big. This is such a huge blow for red in general, for Zoro, Ace, and Whitebeard. Now, the way they all treat it is a little different. The way they take this nerf is a very big difference here, and I'll go over a little bit of it in a second. And the third card here is Radical Beam. Beam hits a lot more decks, not just Zoro, Newgate. It also hits, obviously, Law. Law likes to run 1 to 3 of these in their deck. Marco is essentially, it also hits Ace. I forgot about Ace. I always forget about Ace, but it does hit Ace pretty hard. Marco is those 3 except for Law, and same thing with Newgate. All those 3 decks still ran Newgate. Some decks run 1, some decks run 4, it really all depends. As we get started with our tier list here, I want to give a quick shout out to Team Seafood King for actually making this tier list. I found it on Tier Maker, and I just want to give a quick shout out to them because they did take the time to make this, so appreciate y'all. If you guys haven't followed them yet, please do so. They're very good players, so check them out. Okay, so here we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I don't really know. I kind of don't really care. They're very obscure decks that can be very good in certain matchups, but I just haven't spent the time, nor have I just played against them too often. And then the dead section is, what we're talking about here, and we're gonna go straight through to the dead section because everyone's gonna want to know, where does Whitebeard land after this restriction list, after this update? Where does Ace land? Where does Zoro land? Where does Red land in all of this? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's kind of hard. It's really hard to figure out where they're gonna land because even though Whitebeard did lose those 3 cards, there is decks like Strawbeard that did really well, and even though we don't have Whitebeard, the 9 cost, there's still a ton of other event cards that we can do. There's still way more defense that we have. It's still a really good deck. I don't think it's gonna fall. There's no way it falls underneath tier 3, and honestly it probably is going to live in tier 2. And now for Ace though, it's a bit rough for Ace. One of the biggest mechanics for Ace is the search engine for your event cards, and Radical Beam is the best event card that you have in your arsenal for defense, as well as 4-cost Marco. 4-cost Marco being such a strong card in that deck, and the fact that it loses both is very sad. The deck was already kind of like a underestimated deck, and now it just like, I don't even know. I think this is a very big blow for Ace. Like I said, it's still red. It still can perform pretty well, I'm assuming, but time will tell. So, getting into some of these other decks here that we can just get out of the way, and then we can start just adding on to the tier list here, is I'm gonna start putting these here where I think they would kind of go, and we can talk about them a little bit more. Let me get some tier 3s out of the way here. Let's see, Kaido, yeah, no. We're gonna put this in the I don't knows, the Garp, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Now, like I said, all these decks can be super good. I'm just kind of going on and just putting them here because I just don't have enough practice with them. I can't help you guys there. Obviously, this is not even in our meta yet. Okay, so we have, let's just start with this Big Mom. I'll go left to right here. Black Yellow Big Mom. I think with this new restricted tier list, or the restricted cards that just got announced, I think Yellow gets a huge buff. Very, very good. I think Yellow does actually really good against Zoro. The only issue with Yellow is that it just loses 90-10 against Law. Like Yellow like gets shut down hard, and that for that reason alone I'm putting it in tier 2, and I'm gonna put Big Mom in there as well. But I think these are really good decks. Tier 1, tier 2, I'm gonna leave them as ordered, so if you see them as they are, I think that's how good they are. So I think they are at the top of tier 2 personally. I'm not sure if that's a hot take for y'all, but I think it's insane. And next we have aside from my boy Dofi, I think Dofi gets buffed. I think Dofi gets really well. We're gonna see a lot more Zoro players come out of the woodwork because it's gonna be very good, spoiler alert, and I think Dofi does really good against that. But like I said with Yellow, Dofi, Blue in general, does really bad against Law. Very bad. But I just feel like you're going to fight way more Zoro than you're going to fight Law. And for that reason alone, I think Dofi has the aggression to keep up with Zoro, which is why I'm going to put in tier 2. Next we have Whirlpool Croc. I'm putting him here in tier 3. You never know when you're gonna fight a Whirlpool Croc, and they can surprise you and kind of stall you out and just win. It's quite annoying to face Whirlpool Crocs, but we do need them in the meta. You just gotta have one every now and then, you know. They will appear. So next here we have my boy Law, our first tier 1 deck. Law is actually, I think, buffed in this new meta. We did lose Radical Beam, and Whitebeard matchup was pretty even / Law favored because we had cards like Hawkins, and now with Zoro appearing, yes, Zoro definitely does give Law a run for his money, but we now have to include Vistas back in the deck, which makes Law slower, which also makes Law less consistent, unfortunately, but it's something that we have to deal with. And with all the other decks rising to counter Zoro, Law is there to keep them in check. Decks like Dofi and Yellow in general, like I was just saying, they will definitely just keep them in check so that they don't just completely destroy Zoro, and then Zoro destroys us essentially. Especially if they're running like a heavy Fire Fist version, which is going to be very sad if they end up doing that. Next here we have my boy Kinimon. Kinimon sucks. Unfortunately, this meta green just doesn't get too much right now. I'm gonna put him in the top of tier 3 at the moment. Green still has a lot of great cards, so no shade to him. Next is we actually have Ivankov. I'm putting actually behind Kinimon. It's blue, it's aggressive, but it's just kind of too slow. Magellan. Now that Magellan loses the Magellan always beat Whitebeard, but now Whitebeard's not going to be that prominent. It's going to go right behind Ivankov. If it was the other way around, he would have been higher for sure because Whitebeard is such a popular deck. The next deck here is we have my boy with the shades. I'm putting this in tier 3. I'm probably putting this right here. Z is good, but it's just like purple, man. Purple's so bad this set, like so bad. I don't know why. It's just too slow. It's not enough power. You're wiping boards, but like Zoro's fast, Law's fast. It's just too slow. Next is we have Smoker. Smoker's actually pretty good, not too bad. I'm putting him in the bottom of tier 2 at the moment. Still very good. Another deck that's actually very popular right now is Nami. Nami is really important because actually Nami checks Zoro pretty hard, I believe. I think if the Zoro player doesn't have a ton of experience playing Nami, then they can just get really ran over with Nami. Just kind of like drain you of cards, starve you of cards, and yeah, being able to counter all of the small little attacks is very easy for Nami. So then they have to commit to large dawn attacks, and yeah. So I'm gonna put it right behind Dofi at the moment. I do think it's actually better than Smoker just because of how good the matchup is for Nami for Zoro alone. And the matchup against Yellow, it seems kind of bad, but it's not too bad actually, so you're never gonna deal damage to them. They do have Smoothie to draw cards out of their life, so that's pretty important, but it depends if they run Smoothie. Next, tier 1 deck, we have Katakuri. I actually had Katakuri. I had some cards shifted. I'll probably show my tier list after my older one. I had some tier list cards shifted, some tier list decks here. But Katakuri is definitely a tier 1 deck. If I could, I'd probably put it at 1.5, but he would be alone in that. And the reason why is because, like I said, it's almost essentially an auto loss when you're going up against a law player. They just have to brick for you to win. It happens though. I did lose the Katakuri the other day playing law. It was a low point in my One Piece career, but it happens. Yeah, it happens. And so, but because of that, I think Katakuri actually has a good matchup against Zoro, but like I said, against Law, man, it's just like, it's a wrap. It's really bad. Next is actually Rob Lucci. Now, I think this is a bit of a hot take. I love Rob Lucci. If you know me at all, I love Rob Lucci. I think he's very good. I think he's, underestimated for sure before this actual change of the restricted card list. Initially, I was putting him in front of Katakuri, and people were going to go crazy about me saying that. But because of Whitebeard not being here anymore, we're going to see, like I said, a lot more Zoro. We're going to see more Law, and I think Rob Lucci, two losing matchups for Rob Lucci is going to be Law and actually Katakuri. I think both of those decks kind of struggle with Yellow and Red-Green Law. And even with Zoro, it has a tough time against Zoro because it's just so fast. It just really depends on the build you're actually running. If you're running Navy, you're a lot slower. You're actually able to handle Yellow a bit more, but you lose to fast-paced aggression, which is why you run the CP base, because CP allows you to keep up with some of those decks because of cards like Erdor or Kaku, just really, really good. And then there's obviously those mix of the two that people are now running, which is great. Very, very good that people do that. But that is a possibility. So as of right now, I'm putting my boy Lucci behind Nami. I know it's rough, dude. I'm gonna get a lot of trash from it, but that's where I honestly believe he belongs now. It makes me really sad because, like I said, I love Rob Lucci, and I really hope I'm wrong about this, but Lucci gang forever, y'all. Anyways, so we have my boy Luffy here next. Luffy's a tier 3 deck. It's still red. I probably put it right here behind Magellan. In front of Croc. It's still red. It's still cool. Whatever. Kid is very, very interesting. No one talks about green anymore. Everyone thinks green is dead, but I actually think Kid belongs right here. I think depending on the Zoro build, I think Kid can win. And I think Kid is just a really, really good deck it's full of techs. And even ACOS Kid is not that bad anymore. I think there is, you might call me crazy. I know you have ACOS Katakuri to remove ACOS Kid. But I think Kid is actually, there's some sauce in there, and I hope I'm right. I know it's an OP01 deck, but I just, I want to see more colors in this format and in this set, and seeing green pop up again would be kind of cool. Next is Croc. I'm putting Croc actually behind, behind Nami, actually. I think Croc's really good. I think Croc does really, really good against Zoro. Super good against Zoro. But against Law, it's very, very difficult. And I think even Katakuri, I think you have a hard time. So I'm going to put it behind Nami. Easy. My boy Kaido. Yep, you know where that goes. Last but not least, Zoro. Now, we all know Zoro's a tier 1 deck. but is it better than Law or Katakuri? And yes, it is. It is. Spoiler alert. It is way better than those two. Not way better. It's just way better. Yeah, it's way better. It's really, really good right now. Zoro can pivot back to the OP02 deck list, and it still runs super, super hot. On top of the fact that we still have 5-cost Marco to drop a 6k body as well as some removal. Yeah, and guys, this is my tier list. I really firmly believe in this. But if you think I'm crazy, if y'all think I'm wild for this tier list, please let me know in the comment section below. If y'all want to go group up and go wizard hunting, by all means, y'all do you. But guys, that's going to be it for me today. So yeah, thank you so much for checking out the channel. I really do appreciate it. And stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP03 content coming out soon. See ya.